Hey guys, Eric Cleary here, co-founder, leasing manager at Oranges Property Management and realtor with the investment team at Reva Realty. We're here at one of my latest projects where we've taken a single family home and added a legal accessory dwelling unit. So we're gonna go chat with some of the guys here, see how the project's going, talk a little bit about why this was a good property to do this sort of thing at, some of the steps that were needed to take, some of the things that we looked for and enjoyed and liked when we found this property, and just kind of give you guys an overall walkthrough of what it takes to do something like this. So Jay is one of my main contractors from Great Choice Plumbing and Great Choice Contracting. So I'm going to introduce you to him and let's do a nice walkthrough. Hope you guys enjoy. So this is an example of it's a semi-detached raised bungalow. It was a single family home when I found it. What we liked about this property, so first of all, we're converting it into 2 units. So there's going to be a main level apartment that's actually already rented, and we're turning it into a nice big 1-bedroom basement suite. This is fully legal through the city. Jay's actually applied for a permit for an accessory dwelling unit. And one of the things we loved about this house when we found it was it has really big windows. So obviously I'm not gonna give you a full tour of the house, but we'll go inside, I'll show you a little bit more. There's big windows all around this property, so that's good for multiple things. It gives a lot of natural light to the lower unit. It helps with the meeting code in terms of having proper egress windows. And overall, it just once this unit's done, you're not gonna feel like you're in a dingy little basement. It obviously doesn't have as much light as say a main level or a second story place, but it definitely has a really nice feel to it. And especially the way we do the renovations, we try to open things up and keep it, keep the flow very open so people don't feel like they're kind of tucked away. So I guess I can take you through right now and we'll walk you through. Jay's gonna talk a little bit about getting the permit. Well, first bringing in the architect, doing the drawings, figuring out the kinks of those drawings. Then after we do the initial stuff, we'll get the construction drawings. From the construction drawings, Jay now takes a look at those drawings and he's gonna put together a quote for my client, outlining, the job start to finish. Obviously, when you're doing something legal, there's always a couple unforeseen things, but we've done enough of them now to know what inspectors are gonna be kind of curious about and probably point out and what they're gonna be okay with. So that really helps us dial in on an accurate, reliable quote, so my investor knows exactly what he's getting himself into, and as do I, because I treat these projects like my own. I can kind of take you to the front of the house here. These are the big windows I was telling you about. So the other big thing is if you point the camera over there, you can see that there's another entrance. That's the side entrance that goes right into the basement, so that tenant's gonna have their own private entrance. This entrance here at the front of the house, you go up a few steps, that's the main level apartment that's actually already rented. So what we try to do when we find one of these houses is the longer that it's empty, the longer that it's not generating revenue and income, which is difficult for an investor because it creates extra carrying costs. So we got this rented right away, and now the guys are focusing on the lower level. So my client has a lot of his expenses being covered already just from the rent from the upstairs. We're not going to go in here right now because I actually didn't give the tenants notice. We don't like to bug our tenants unless it's properly organized. But this used to be a split level. So you'd walk in, there's a landing, you go down a few steps and you go up a few steps. We've built a fire separation wall there, and we've actually installed the new stackable laundry. We also split the hydro in this property. So the new panel for the upstairs unit's located right here, kind of tucked out of the way so it's not boom right in your face. So the tenant walks in, they got their nice new stackable laundry, they go up and they have their own private apartment to themselves. And then they actually also have a sliding door, which gives them a little private patio space, which is really nice. So I always look for homes that have a lot of things that tenants are gonna like. That'll help it rent for more money. It'll help it rent faster, and it'll help us get a better quality of tenant, which are all things that are very important when looking at different investment opportunities. AC is a must. Gotta have AC. So we split the hydro meter. So each tenant actually pays their own hydro. It's now an expense we don't have to calculate for our client, our investor, to account for. The tenants are going to be paying that. Gas and water will be included. We've actually set this house up to pass those expenses off to the tenant one day as well, but for now they are all included. So as you walk into this basement apartment, another important thing that so many investors and contractors overlook is they'll eliminate closets. We have a nice big front entry closet here, which is very important. You know, tenants are no different than any other homeowner. They want practicality, and when you walk in, you got jackets, you got shoes, you need a spot to put that stuff. So we've kept that closet. That's gonna be something I think our tenants enjoy a lot. This is gonna be the open concept kitchen and living space here. There's actually a little insert here. Yeah, we're gonna put a nice fireplace in here. It doesn't restrict the space because tenants are still gonna be able to put their TV up on the wall or over there. There's a lot of different kind of floor plans and layouts that they can use. Here's gonna be the kitchen. So I'll let Jay get into more of the technical stuff about structural beams that had to be installed and done. But there's gonna be a big island here, kitchen on the back, which is gonna kind of look into the living room. And with these big windows, like I've been talking about, the light and all the pot lights we've added, it's very bright. It doesn't feel like you're in a basement. And that's what we try to do. We wanna take tenants and people that are like, I'm never living in a basement. They come to see our product and they're like, wow, I can save a little bit of money and I can still get all the things that matter to me. You know, I want a bright space, I want it to be open, and that's exactly what this product offers to somebody. So I think it's important for Jay to kind of walk you through some of the inspections we've had to go through, what the process was like from drawings, and what it's like for him to kind of stay on top of a project like this to make sure it goes as planned from start to finish. Go ahead, Jay.
So the first thing would be the building drawings that you give me, the construction drawings, and then from there I'm able to calculate and pretty much narrow down a good quality estimate using good quality material. And then from there, if I get the go ahead, then it's go time. We start the demo as we did on this one. Then from there we have framing inspection. On this project we added in 2 beams, one going here, one going there. This used to be a one room, mechanical room. Now we've turned it into a kitchen. And then from there we have our insulation inspection for fire rating, for fire code. And then from there we have final. Plumbing, electricals in amongst those, between those inspections as well.
So it's important to work with a contractor that understands the steps required to get a project like this from start to finish, because if you're working with someone who maybe has never done it before or is inexperienced, doesn't have any relationships with the city, a project like this can go very, very poorly. And usually something going poorly leads to more costs. And when we run the numbers on a product like this, I try to keep them as reliable as possible. And I obviously don't account for everything to go perfect, but the more challenges that you run into and the more things are done in an inefficient way, it starts to make that return on investment that I've calculated for my client no longer look accurate. And that's not, that's not what we do here. And we work really, really hard to ensure that a client is willing to invest, whether it's $50, $100, $200,000, that the returns that I've told them they're going to achieve are actually the returns they get. So that's why I like working with Jay and his team, because he understands what it takes to do things properly. Demo, doing various things, electrical, plumbing at the right times, bringing the inspector in, and that also keeps the project efficient and moving on schedule, which is another big thing that I've heard a lot of horror stories that people, man, my thing's taken 6, 7, 8 months on a project that should have taken, 3, 4 months. So make sure you're working with people that really understand the fundamentals in working with the city in terms of applying from the permit, architects doing drawings that make sense, and then having guys that know how to do the work and know how to bring the city in at the right times and so on.
Yeah, so as you can see from our wall here, this is kind of a cutout. This is the double 5/8 drywall for your fire rating. You have resilient channel, and then you have safe and sound on the insulation side, and then you have another 5/8 here. So this is pretty much your firewall surrounding the mechanical room. And then in here, the client wanted separate services, so we have 2 separate water heaters. This is for upper, this is for lower. And then we also added in a sprinkler for the mechanical room to help with the fire separation, as well as an induct smoke detector, which will allow the furnace to shut off if they sense any smoke in the return air from either the upper or lower level. We are putting in a second meter as well for the upper unit, so it'll be individually metered. Yeah.
So all the stuff that Jay just talked about isn't a requirement. You do not have to add independent hot water tanks. You don't have to have separate water meters. The furnace stuff he talked about, the fire separation, the sprinkler, that's code. That's a requirement. And we love that stuff. We want these apartments and places for people to live to be as safe as possible. Obviously, the city is doing its part in ensuring not just guys like us, but anybody that's doing this is making sure it's done properly, safe. And that is definitely part of any sort of solid strategy in building wealth through real estate where you have, you know, healthy, good, safe, long-term investments. Okay, so a big misconception in the Niagara real estate market is more bedrooms lead to more rent, and nothing could be more untrue. I'm not saying that if you have the space, don't utilize 2 bedrooms if you can, absolutely. But a lot of people try to add that second room in a space that really doesn't have the floor plan or the layout for it. And when you add that second room, you start to compromise the apartment as a whole. Our target demographic for a place like this, a unit with an upstairs and a basement apartment, is a single or a professional couple. And they don't really care that much about the second bedroom, right? They care about the nice big bedroom with a big closet, a nice open floor plan with a living space and a kitchen.
Nice kitchen.
Yeah, a nice closet when you walk in. You'd be shocking, guys. I know I'm talking about this closet, but the amount of people that eliminate it, and it's like, well, you walk in, where do I put my coat? So we try to keep the space. We want to make it look sweet and try to attract a really good, high quality tenant. It's got to be as functional as possible, and that will actually help us get to that goal. So if we go down here, Jay can talk a little bit about what we did in this bathroom, and then I'll take you guys over to some more fire separation where we added laundry, and I'll show you the bedroom.
Yeah, so this used to be a tiled shower that was a block shower. We've blown out the block to make it much larger. This is the tile that we're doing for here. We're also adding in a new vanity, new toilet, a new bath fan, some pot lights. And that's the bathroom. Nice bright window for the bathroom as well, which you don't usually see in a basement apartment.
So that's an example, like my contractor found that on his own, right? There used to be blocks in there which compromised, I think it was 6 inches, Jay, on all sides. So he did the extra work and didn't bill my investor. You know, he didn't bill the client. And that's not in all cases, guys. Usually when a contractor does a bunch of extra work, you pay for it. But in this case, he didn't, which, you know, we appreciated, and that's nice of him. So that gave us an even bigger walk-in shower. And 6 inches, you know, talking to the camera might not sound like a lot.
12 inches overall though, because it's 6 inches on either side.
It's a big, and if I could show you guys a before and after, you would see the difference. And so I'm really happy that they did that. And I think whoever moves in here is going to really appreciate that.
So this used to be the entrance coming down, the set of stairs. We've now eliminated those, installed a firewall separating both units. This is the staircase coming down or leading up to the other unit. We've fire rated this whole space here, giving some storage here, as well as underneath, and removed the stairs for even more storage. And then for this laundry in this space, this is going to be combined laundry and office. Nice countertop all across. You know, we don't have ugly pipes and vents sticking out and going out the wall as you normally would in a basement. Again, this is a second panel for this unit down here. And then you come into the master bedroom. Nice big walk-in closet. Nice bright window. We added in a little bit more. Normally we would add in 2 pot lights here. We added 4 for the extra light in the evening.
So this is another thing, that this was actually the existing floor plan. We did have to bring the closet in a little bit to create more space in the mechanical room for the additional hot water tank. But again, it didn't compromise the space in the room. So this was existing. So when I saw this, I was in love because again, like I was talking about, I don't care that much about the second bedroom. And on this project in particular, because again, my target market's gonna be a single professional or a couple. And they're gonna appreciate a large bedroom space with a nice big closet over 2 smaller rooms, right? And like Jay said, in the laundry room, we're gonna put a nice countertop over the laundry, and it'll actually leave some space there for a desk, a computer. So if somebody is working from home right now, they'll be able to do so comfortably. And again, it won't impede or kind of affect the flow of the rest of the space. Massive window here again. As I was telling you guys, you got these big windows all around the house. A, city inspectors love that, and B, guys like me and him love that, and as well as the tenants. So look for homes, guys, that have a lot of those things already done, because that'll reduce your renovation budget. If you've got to put new windows in everywhere and cut concrete and build wells, it starts to get very expensive. I'm not saying we don't do that ever. Of course we do, because we might find a house that has all the right things and it just doesn't have that. We're not going to walk away from that, but it is something that needs to be calculated and planned for before you purchase, right? You're going to have some additional expenses. So guys, this is this is one of many projects that we got on the go right now. I think we're going to be done here in the next couple of weeks.
Yes.
So this project from start to finish took about 7-8 weeks. Which is pretty fast for
a full permitted job.
For a full permitted job. That includes all the inspections. It doesn't include getting the drawings. Right. I do that in escrow before the home closes. So, when you purchase it, like my client purchased this house, within a week, I already had the architect here and I already had Jay here kind of seeing the project, and that was 6 weeks before the house even closed. So I like to minimize that period of carrying costs and nothing moving. And one of the ways we do that is getting started early. Once you have a firm offer, we're in the house, we're starting to plan about what we're gonna do. That way the house closes, I think 3 days after or a week after, Jay had the permit into the city. And boom, the process starts. My client already had agreed to the quote, so he knew what he was going to be paying for this project. He had already put a deposit down, and boom, Jay, being our contractor on this project, got started right away. And it definitely reduced the time in which my client was, texting and calling me about what's going on. Have we started yet? And that's very important to us. I want this to move as fast as possible, because that leads to more money. And obviously will improve the returns in the first year, which is super important.
As well as we got that upstairs unit ready for rent in that time frame as well, right?
Absolutely. So the upstairs was almost done. We didn't have to do much. We painted a few bedrooms, put some new trim down, new vanity in the bathroom, new flooring. So again, I looked for a house. I'm like, okay, the basement's gonna be a big project, but the upstairs only needs a few things. We got that done right away. Got new photos, new videography, got it on the market, and got it rented right away. And that tenant upstairs is paying $1,800 plus hydro, which is actually more than I told my client we were gonna get when he bought the house. So he was obviously very happy. And like I said, that tenant's been upstairs paying rent now for the last 2 months. So that's $3,600 that he has into his pocket to help cover the carrying costs while this space is getting prepared. Obviously, he did buy this hoping to only rent 1 unit. That's why we're doing this down here, but it's nice to have somebody that cares like us to get it done nice and quick, so at least there's some revenue coming in, some income coming in, while the project's happening. Guys, thanks so much for joining me today and doing this walkthrough. If you guys have any questions or want to learn how you can invest in real estate and do this sort of thing, shoot me a message, give me a call. I'll be happy to talk to you and walk you through it. If you guys enjoyed this content, smash the like button, subscribe, and we'll be in touch. We'll chat soon, guys. Thank you.